right, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to gootalks number 2. My name is gootalks, and it is Friday evening, so I thought it would be cool to stop by and say hello to you guys. We have a lot of interesting topics today that you guys have suggested. Actually, I'm wondering if I can add in the chat room. Add screen region. There we go. Let me just add this in right here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oops. Oh, I screwed it up. All right. All right, whatever. I'll just leave it like that. Okay, so we got some interesting topics for today. The first one was there was some guy in the chat room that had a lady problem. Let's start with that one. I like that one. Oh shit, we got Broken Tear's very own Coogie in the house. Hey, Paul. Yeah, if you guys didn't see, Paul Kugler did, he did an Ask Me Anything on Reddit. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick without interfering with anything. Yes, check this link out. So anyways, I don't know where that dude's lady problem was, but if we don't have a lady problem, will it blend? Okay. All right, well, I guess let's get started. Let me scroll up. There were a few pretty good topics. Coachella, we could talk about that later. Oh, actually, there is the SS Coachella Festival, which looks super cool if you have like a spare $1,000 or several $1,000s or whatever. We can watch M83 on a cruise ship. Oh, here we go. How did I get into audio production? So there was a time, once upon a time, where some friends that I knew from high school, when I was right outside of high school, what? How did that get messed up? Hold on. Let me remove that. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still learning how to do this stuff. Screen region. There was a time when I wanted to run my own record label because that sounded like a cool idea. So being the young 19-year-old that I was, I didn't know anything about running a business. And so I thought that I had to do everything myself, including the production, because what would a record label be? What would a record label be without knowing how to do the production? So I didn't have any sort of formal training because that's the type of person that I am. No budget, no training, just do it. So it started with a Creative Sound Blaster Nomad, which was one of the hard drive-based music players that had like 4 gigs on it of storage space. So my bright idea, because this thing had a line-in port, was that we would take the line out of the guitar amp and plug that into the line-in of the Creative Sound Blaster Nomad. Little did I know that the only way for a guitar to really sound the way that it sounds when it's coming out of an amp is, of course, to mic up the amp. So these were some of the things that I learned along the way. I thought that I could just take the line out, record it to the Nomad, load that onto the computer, play that back to the next musician, and then have them play their part. Little did I know that you're actually supposed to, start with the drums and, have the drummer listening to a metronome track, and then have him play along, and do it that way. Minor detail, I didn't I didn't realize that was the way that it had to be done. So I went through a lot of different phases. I tried recording onto the Creative Sound Blaster Nomad, and then when I realized that wasn't the best way to do it, then I tried to record straight into SoundForge. SoundForge. Gosh, what was the program? Maybe it was called SoundForge. Anyways, it was like a 2-track audio editing program, not really so much for recording. And then I would basically record a track and then paste the next track over it, so to speak, and then kind of build it like that. And that was, if you guys have any experience recording audio, that is basically the worst, most inefficient way and most unprofessional way that you could possibly do things. But, that was the way that I knew how to do it. So then I graduated into actually researching, programs that I could use to record, and that's when I came across Sony Vegas. And Sony Vegas was very important because it was not so much for audio, but you could use it for multi-track audio recording. And once I used Vegas for the first time, I fell in love because I was like, oh, this is the program that I've been waiting for. This is the program that I can use to actually record bands. Once I got that figured out, then that's when I was actually on a roll. So then I would use a mixer and 4 mics to record the drums, and then put all of that into Vegas on 2 tracks, and then play that back for the next the next guy of the band, who was usually the bassist. The bassist would play along, and then we put that onto the guitars, and then the vocals. And then the fun part came, which was, of course, the mixing. And the mixing is where things really get fun in terms of audio production. I always wanted to get to the point where I could just be handed a multi-track Sony Vegas project file, and then I would just kind of go through it and mix it. But the problem was that back then everybody was using Pro Tools, which is hilarious because who even uses Pro Tools anymore? So after a couple of years of doing that, I did get better and better, and you guys will never, ever, ever hear these tracks that I did, ever, ever, ever. And if you did, you would kill yourself because they were really bad. So I was doing production, recording shitty metal bands and punk bands. This was maybe 8 or 9 years ago, maybe. And then it just wasn't going anywhere. I was doing everything. The bands were uncooperative. I was trying to promote. That's where I learned a lot about, marketing and, or rather, grassroots marketing and producing, putting together a website and then promoting it through email marketing. Because I'm sure there may be some of you guys that were on the mailing list, the gootalks.com mailing list back in the day. But that was how I got started with audio production. And then, one day I kind of woke up and I was like, this is awful. Why am I doing this? And then kind of transitioned. I kind of let it go. And, it was really funny. Before I let the music production stuff go, I was like, what if I let it go and then these guys who I've been working with all of a sudden strike it big? How awful would I feel if these guys then went off to become big, huge superstars, and then I would be left with nothing? thankfully, these guys didn't go anywhere. And sometimes they can still be found playing local venues. And I don't regret not doing that for a second, because all of the things that I learned from doing that then kind of got to transition into doing the audio for the Dungeon Video Third Strike podcasts, Third Strike videos, as well as doing the Ask Dr. Sub-Zero show when it was just us in my bedroom with nobody giving a shit. So there we go. Let's see. Next topic. FGC Noob has a lady problem. FGC Noob, what is your lady problem? And it better be a serious one, or I'm going to kick and ban you. Here's a great question. Why am I not at PAX? I am not at PAX because there was no reason for me to be at PAX, even though it seems like everybody I know was at PAX. And I went last year, and PAX was pretty cool, although it felt a lot like E3 for consumers. Hold on, let me get to your question in a second. So it was cool, but I felt like all the stuff that was there on a gaming level, first, I didn't really give a shit about because I don't care. And second, I'd seen most of the stuff at E3. So for me, PAX last year was really more about experiencing Seattle for the first time, which is such a great city. If you guys haven't been to Seattle, there's the fish market, and then there's some sort of like Capitol Hill or something. You go up to the hill and there's just a bunch of hipster bars. It was awesome. And that was also the first time that I got to experience Barcraft, which, if you guys are familiar with bar fights, seems awfully familiar, but we'll just give those guys the benefit of the doubt and assume that they came up with that idea on their own. But checking out Barcraft in Seattle was very cool. The Barcraft idea is very cool. It's just unfortunate that most bars are still not at a point where they're like, hey, I wonder what the net savvy / geeky / gamer crowd wants to see. Because if they just considered that, they would probably do more gaming stuff. So if you or someone you know runs a bar in the LA area and you're interested in showing esports / fighting game stuff, then you let me know and I will come down and have a few drinks. Anyways, there was a question here from FGC Noob. FGC Noob says, there's this girl. We're friends, we talk and stuff in school. I fool around a bit, touch her on some areas. Ooh, what areas might that be, FGC Noob? And she doesn't mind, but she doesn't really talk about it or anything else. I'm not sure if I should make a move and just ask her to take it to the next level. I'm in high school, if that helps. Well, FGC Noob, let me tell you, if you fool around a little bit with a girl and you touch her and she doesn't mind, then that's a pretty good indication that you should take it to the next level, which would, I don't know what the next level is when you're in high school. I don't know that I would make the jump and say, ask her to be your girlfriend, but you should definitely try to take it further, because if she lets you touch her and you haven't, let's say, scared her away, like if you're making a move and she didn't run away, then that's a very good indicator that she likes you. How much she likes you and what that next level is, I'm not really quite sure, but I am very confident that if you make a move, she will not say no, because if she wanted to say no, then she would have left when you tried to make the move the first time. So hey, good for you, FGC Noob. I am very happy for you, and I'm happy that you're making moves on your high school girl contemporaries. Sumerian, that is literally the worst way to word that. Touch her. Oh, okay, yeah. And wear a condom, young man. Be safe, not sorry. Gosh. Remember high school? What a terrible time. It's really funny because when we were in high school, I didn't know anything. If I could just travel back in time and tell high school gootalks what post-high school, post-college gootalks knows, oh my gosh, it'd be so much better. So much better. Oh, all right, let's do another one, only because T-Lock is in the chat. I have a friend you may or may not know who has been scarred by an old high school crush who broke his heart. T-Lock, is this you? He now treats women horribly and ignorantly and has given himself unmeetable standards for a girl almost in such a way as to punish himself. How can we get him out of this five-year-long rut? What advice can I pass to him? Well, T-Lock's friend, or should I say, T-Lock. It seems like a very common case of cognitive dissonance, where you want something but try to pretend that you don't want it because you know in your mind that you can't have it. It's very easy to do these things and then get into the habit of saying, oh, that girl, I don't want to talk to her. She's not that hot. She's probably very hot. You're just too scared to talk to her, so you try to act like you didn't actually want to talk with her. So my advice to this friend, T-Lock's friend, would be to snap out of it and get the fuck over yourself. Just get over yourself and try to start from scratch. Hey, you know what? Maybe you gotta go. Maybe you gotta go. Maybe you have to improve your self-esteem by going to talk with some girls that you wouldn't otherwise talk to. Girls that you may find unattractive, but let's just say that they're a sure bet. You know what I mean? They will, if you go and approach these girls that are unattractive or fat or whatever the buzzwords, you know, you kids have these days, just go and build your confidence and say, hey, chubby girl, my name is gootalks, you know, and it's very nice to meet you. And over time, you will start to reduce your cognitive dissonance and the scars from this 5-year-old incident where this girl scarred you for life. It'll all disappear over time. This is a process, you know. Bear puns all day. Hey, chubby girl, let's go out on a cake. That's funny. That's pretty funny. I like that. Oh yes, poopas. That's pretty funny. Oh God, Zuku1. Will we ever see a new Excellent Adventures episode with me and Mike Ross? If yes, what is the ETA? Okay, I'll just tell you guys straight up, 100%. We shot a handful, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes on Monday. And I'll be honest, the first episode was really bad, mostly because I am an awful player now, because I never play and don't practice. But the other 4 episodes are very good. So these episodes are in the can, and I am currently in the process of dealing with a network that you may or may not have heard about, Machinima Versus, to syndicate these episodes on our channel. Once this deal is moving forward and cleared up, and there's a few things in the contract that I think need to be changed. Once these things are changed, or the contract is either they're going to accept the changes or completely reject the offer. Either way, the episodes should be up by this time next week. Fair enough? my gosh. Oh my gosh. Menopause. You must not have been listening when we did this the other day. Menopause wants to know, what can one do if they are worried about being put in the friend zone? Go all in or approach systematically? I can tell you right now that approaching systematically is the surest way into the friend zone. This is how you got into the friend zone in the first place. The best way to avoid the friend zone is to never get in the friend zone to begin with. Now, how do we avoid being in the friend zone? What we do is we say, look, I'm going to be a man. Just man up and say, you don't have to say it, but you convey it to her. I am a man, young lady, and if you can't handle this, then this is not going to work. We're not going to be friends. I got enough friends. I got dudes on dudes on dudes that would like nothing more than to hang out. But I don't want to hang out with them. I want to hang out with you, young lady. And if you convey that to her, that you are a man and are not going to be her buddy and make her mix CDs and take her places and buy her dinner, then she will respect you. And if she respects you, you will get a firm yes or a no. Either she's down and now you start, you know, the mating process or whatever you want to call it, as silly as that sounds. Or she's like, hey, I'm not into it, but I think you're cool. She may even thank you. She may say, hey, Johnny Donuts, thank you for being upfront with me. Thank you for being honest with me, because most guys, is it coming back? Is it coming back? Is it coming back? There we go, we're back. Sometimes this camera dies. I'm sorry, guys. Most guys, especially guys that tend to be into video games or computers or technology, those guys approach too lightly. Girls want to feel wanted. If you show a girl confidently that you are attracted to her, she will respect that and tell you one way or the other whether or not to proceed. Oh gosh, okay, Koye, I can't even read your, I can't pronounce your handle. Gootalks, I went out the other day, blah, blah, oh, no. Gootalks, I went out the other day and talked to a random girl for the first time. I even got her number. It was really easy, good work. But now all my buddies have moved away for college, so it looks like I have to go out alone. Is it just as easy without the support of friends? Yes. You are lucky that you had your friends there for the first time, so that, and hopefully one of those friends was a girl, so that she would know that you weren't a serial killer. Clearly you established that you're not a serial killer because she gave you her number. So now that your friends have all gone away to college, and by the way, why didn't you go to college, young man? What was your problem? Why are you still sitting at home? That's not important right now. Maybe I'm just going to give you the benefit of the doubt and assume that you're, you know, you're the bad boy. You know, school is not for you. You march to the beat of a different drummer. And now you have this girl's number and you're gonna go out by yourself, just the two of you. Well, hey, guess what? Now you don't have to worry about logistics. You're not gonna have to worry about taking so-and-so home or what so-and-so wanted to do tonight. Now it's just you and her. So in my mind, it's easier. So get in there. Oh gosh. All right. Timmy Tukey, Gutex says, I've been with my girl for over 4 years now. How do I get her to try anal? Hey, if you haven't got her to try it yet, it's probably not going to happen, but it's a process. I'm not going to go too into detail, but I'm just going to say that it's You go step by step. Here, SM Jones Z. Hypothetically, if I go to Cal Poly, what should I not get a degree in? The most useless degree I can think of is theater or liberal arts. Computer information systems, also very useless, but don't tell your professors that I said that. Honestly though, all degrees are worthless. How can something so expensive be so worthless? I think that's a line from Kyle, gosh, Kyle, something. I don't know. But yeah, all degrees are worthless. What isn't worthless is the experiences that you have with your fellow students. Kyle Kane, yes, Kyle Kane, thank you. The experience that you have with your fellow students, as well as the networking opportunities and the, let's say, volunteer/internship opportunities that you have access to when you're in college. For example, I would like nothing more than to be able to go to Cal Poly Pomona and say, hey, I'm an alumni, hook me up with your best and brightest students. I don't care what field they're in, because I will mold them and groom them to what cross-counter needs. So take advantage of the opportunities that you have when you're in college to explore these unpaid opportunities, because you never know. I mean, and I guess I'm just partial to startups because cross-counter isn't very large in terms of the amount of people that work here. But you know, to me, it would, if I were a college student, it would seem way more exciting to me to learn from somebody who was a few years older, not that much older, but still young enough to understand what young people and the masses want. So from a college student's perspective, go out there and try to build relationships with people and businesses that you think are doing cool things, because everybody loves free help. I love free help. Hold on, I got a text message. Here we go. Akira20, Mr. Gootalks, what is a good way to increase exposure to sponsors/players for upcoming events just starting out in the FGC? Best thing to do as a startup event is to focus not on sponsors, but on making sure that every person that comes to your event has a good time. Now, what does it mean to have a good time? For a player, especially a top player, it means that the brackets were run on time and the money was paid out in a quick and timely manner, and all of the money was there. From a spectator's perspective, it's good that the brackets run on time and that there was a good viewing area. Maybe there was a projector screen that would be helpful, and that it was fun. There were drinks, possibly alcohol there for people to enjoy while they were cheering on their favorite players. You know, I mean, one of the critical elements, I think, of bar fights in December was that we had, you know, alcohol, so that when there was a big, you know, Marvel 3 match, people would be like, yeah, get him! Ah! I think that's cool. Once you have your spectators and your players, especially the top players, excited about your event, they'll tell their friends, your event grows, and that's when you can start to approach sponsors. Sponsors care only about the amount of, well, not only, but they care a lot about how many people come to your event and how many people actually enjoy having fun at your event, as well as, you know, the amount of people that you can reach on the internet through streaming, through Twitch or Own3D or YouTube. All right, let's see. The Third Eye 11 wants to know, gootalks, I know a girl who used to date a guy where it was pretty much 9-10. She took care of him, but he dumped her. I'm really used to the nice guy routine, but she's the type where you could lose her quickly. I'm looking for an approach to show I can be better off for her than any other guy. What should I do? Also, we kind of are friends, but she's told me she doesn't like to label in certain zones. Hallelujah, I was just about to tell you you were in the friend zone. If she says that she doesn't want to label things, then you may have a small chance, but it sounds like you already fucked it up and got yourself into the friend zone. The best thing to do now that you may be possibly in the friend zone or half friend zone is to say, look, don't say anything at all, and just, you have to put yourself in a situation where the moment is right. No words need to be said when the moment is right. You can just make the move. So make the move. And T-Lock CPU may be correct. I don't like to label zones as to make you feel better. T-Lock, you may be right. It may already be too late. Best thing to do when you're in the friend zone, though, honestly, is to just go for it so that you can either stop wasting your time and her time and she's forced to make a decision. Put them in a situation. It's like in Third Strike where they're knocked down and you're Urian and they're in the corner and you put the Aegis in front of them, not on top of them or behind them, but in front of them, and then it's high-low. They're forced to make a decision. High, low, parry, jump parry, block. There you go. All right, welcome back to part 2 of gootalks. My name is gootalks. My name is gootalks. And we were talking previously about something. I don't remember. Do I ever plan to come to Europe? I actually went to Europe once. I visited Sweden, Jönköping in particular, for DreamHack 2010. One of the best experiences ever. I have to thank Cami and Scott Valencia for making that happen. Such a great time in Sweden. I really wish I would have had more time to see the city. And it was fucking freezing, but it's okay. It was still a really good time, and I'm really grateful for the experience because it's not every day that one gets to go to Europe, much less Sweden. Oh, that doesn't work when I do that. Okay, I was gonna look on Event Hubs and see who else was streaming so that we could beat them. FGTV Live, they must be doing something cool. I don't remember what we were talking about. Here we go, Just Blaze. So, gootalks, my friend decided to go out to the club, and I didn't really want to go, but I decided to, and towards the end of the night, we got these girls, but there's a grenade missing a pin, and I'm the one that everyone's looking to take it down, but I didn't want to go out. What would gootalks do? It sounds to me like there was a group of nice-looking girls and one ugly girl, or fat girl, or whatever. And it sounds like you were the low man on the totem pole because it wasn't your idea to go out. Therefore, everybody was looking at you to cover the exploding grenade. So what would gootalks do? Well, first of all, gootalks would have been the guy that wanted to go out in the first place, so this shit would never happen. But assuming that it did happen and I wasn't the guy that wanted to go out, I would make it be known that I was taking said grenade for the team, and as long as the rest of my crew knew that I was doing that, I would probably be okay with doing it, so that next time it wasn't me that was going to be taking the grenade, it would be somebody else. if it's an entire minefield, then yeah, what would Patton or any other great general do? Retreat! How did I figure out what character suits you in Street Fighter 4? Like, how did you figure out Rose was a character for you? Taylor Gaming wants to know. So here is exactly how I started playing Balrog and Rose in Street Fighter 4. At the beginning, Street Fighter 4 was not very fun. Newsflash, it's not nearly as much fun as Third Strike. But it's what everybody was playing, and I was like, you know what, if I want to do the Street Fighter stuff for real, then I'm going to have to play Street Fighter 4. Duh. So I thought to myself, okay, look, it's a brand new game. And really, if you think about it, like, Third Strike isn't even really a Street Fighter game because it doesn't play like the Street Fighter games. It doesn't follow the same rules like the Street Fighter games do, and it has very few of the same characters that Street Fighter does. So I thought, okay, I'll just play Ryu. And if I play Ryu, then I'll play him until I have somebody that suits me more. But in the meantime, I can learn the game with Ryu because, hey, it's Ryu. What Street Fighter game doesn't play like a Street Fighter game when it has Ryu? So I did that for a while. It wasn't going very well. I was so mad because I was doing very well in Third Strike. I had just gotten back from Japan for SPO 2008. And I was like, it makes me so mad. I'm not doing well Street Fighter 4. But I kept on playing with Ryu. And then one day, my good buddies, Jason Cole, who, by the way, Jason Cole, if you're watching or somebody knows Jason Cole, tell Jason Cole that he has to hit me up about a matter from New York. So Jason Cole and my buddy Evil Elvis, who you may know from the Komboratory, were like, yo dog, you've been playing the wrong character. You need to get on that Balrog tip. And I said, Balrog? Why would I play Balrog? And they were like, look, Balrog is a charge character, and you play charge characters, and he's got a headbutt. And I was like, And I think they even said he had good footsies and said something about me having good footsies as well. So I was like, okay, I'll give that a shot, Jason Cole and Evil Elvis. And so I did. And I played, and everything was so much easier. Oh, they tried to jump, down fierce. Oh, they're just standing there, bam, jab dash punch. Ooh, wake up, EX headbutt. Oh. So that was how I started playing Balrog. With Rose was a little bit different. I got to the point where I was like, oh, Balrog, I hate Balrog. Get out of here. Every time I play Balrog, I want to kill myself. And Combo Fiend and I had taken a trip to San Diego to go visit the Box Arena. Shout outs to the Box Arena. Love you guys. And on the way back, I was like, man, Peter, Balrog is ass. Little did I know that they were going to make him even worse in AE in 2012, but at the time, like in Super, he just wasn't as good. He was like, Goo, you know who you should try? Rose. And I was like, why Rose? And he was like, because she's got the orbs. And back in, Super Street Fighter 4, orbs came out in 0 frames, which made them so much better. Oh my God, Rose is like a mere shadow of herself now. And Peter showed me some combos with the orbs, and I was like, oh my God, Peter, this is amazing. This is my girl. Plus, I always thought Rose was a very cool looking character, even from the Alpha series, even though I didn't play Alpha too much. But I thought, damn, the idea of reflecting and the orbs, this is awesome. And that was how I started to play Rose. Mark Argentina wants to know, gootalks, I want to play so bad on a tournament, but here in Argentina it doesn't happen so much. Would you give me some advice to get the interest of some investors for the tournament, because I don't have enough money to make it real? Here is the best way to start a tournament that I know of. Gather up the players that you know that would want to play in a tournament and go to your local bar. I'm positive they have bars in Argentina, and I'm positive that at these bars in Argentina there are nights that are slow. Maybe it's Sunday night Maybe it's Tuesday night, it doesn't matter. Go to the bar and say, hey, looks to me like your slowest night is Tuesday. I'm gonna bring in some setups. And you get you and your bros and you bring in the setups and you just tell people, hey, we're going to have some setups here in this bar. And then after that, people are gonna come down and we're gonna play. Damn it. I hate when this dies. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if the battery's dead. Okay, hold on 1 second. Even if people show up, or rather, if people show up, okay, what's wrong with this thing? Let's turn it off. We'll turn it back on. People will show up, and then the bar will be happy because you brought people to an otherwise empty night, and then they'll be like, hey, this is great. Why don't we do more of this? No signal. Get out of here. Get out of here. What? It just changed? You just fucking change yourself? Okay. All right, we're back. Sorry. So, you build up the tournament scene like that by having a weekly thing at a bar that's more casual, and you say, hey guys, come down on Tuesdays, and you tell the bar, hey, give me 10 to 20% of what you're making, because these people that are coming here wouldn't have been here otherwise. Let me re-add the screen region. Sorry. There we go. Sorry guys, you know, oh, that's pretty good. There we go. Nobody wants to. Now it's half chat room, half gootalks. Salty Sombrero, yo gootalks, what's your advice for people who want to be in tournaments but can't find the time to go? Clearly you don't want it. So leave it to those of us who do. Get out of here. All right, there. Now you guys can see my hair, right? Invictusuno, what is the worst breakup you or your friends have ever gone through? Worst breakup that I had was, well, I guess it has to depend on whether you were the dumper or the dumpy. When I was the dumpy, the worst that I had was a girl that I was with for almost a year, and I was a lot younger, like I was still in high school, so maybe it doesn't even count, but basically she was gone. She was a year older. She was hanging out at college, you know, community college. Oh, I'm a big girl now. And she met this guy, and they start hanging out all the time. Ooh, this guy's so cool, and ooh, my lame boyfriend is still in high school. Oh, what a tool. So she started hanging out with this guy, and this was at the beginning of the school year, and it probably took about 2 months of them like hanging out and whatnot, and then she was like, I was super jealous. Like nowadays I would never do or put up with these things. But you know, this was like more than a decade ago, because I'm an old man and I didn't know any better. She was like one day, hey Ryan, do you mind if I go with Jonathan to his friend's funeral? His friend got shot. Do you mind if I go? And me being the tool beta male that I was like, no, go. I mean, go. I mean, this guy's friend got shot. So I was like, okay. yeah, go for it. And so she went, and I tried to call her, and this was in the early days of cell phones, and she wasn't picking up her cell phone. She was gone for the whole night. I called her house. Her brother's like, oh no, sorry man, like she hasn't been home. I was so scared and worried that something had happened to her. I don't know why I thought this, but I just thought that she was dead. I thought something happened. She died in a fiery car crash. And I was like, you know, whatever. I'm just gonna go to sleep, and hopefully I wake up and everything is okay and she's not dead. I wake up in the morning and I get a phone call on the house phone, because I didn't have a cell phone back then. This was like in the early 2000s, right? And when I picked up the phone and I heard her voice, I could tell that she wasn't at home, because I knew what her voice sounded like when she was on her home phone. So I'm listening to her and she's like, yeah, she basically was like, yeah, I slept with Jonathan last night, and I fucking flipped out. And I was like yelling and screaming. I took everything that I had that reminded me of her in her room, and in my room, and I just put it in the trash can, and there was a lot of yelling. Yeah, it sucked. But I told myself that I was not going to let this down. This was the beginning of my senior year of high school, and I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Fuck this bitch. I'm not letting her take another moment of my senior year, which I had intended to be magical. I'm not going to let her take another moment away from me. So realistically, and you know what's really funny? When you go through a really hard breakup, you find that there are a lot of people that are really there for you. You know, your friends, girls, other girls that had sympathy. I remember there was this one girl in particular. She came to my house and brought me ice cream. And just to put it into perspective, if there was a girl that came to my house and brought me ice cream now after a breakup, I would be like, oh, duh, like, you are clearly into me. But I was so stupid and young, like, I didn't understand that probably meant that she liked me. But I just was like, okay, well, thanks for the ice cream. It did make me feel a little bit better, though, no joke. And after, I feel very confident that I was able to get over it within about 2 to 3 weeks. And the reason was because I accepted the help of everybody who cared for me. They were like, hey, Ryan, do you want to like go hang out? And I would be like, yes, I do. Let's go hang out. And then I would go hang out and feel better. Hey, Ryan, do you want to, you know, go out and drink? Yes, that's not true. I was underage, not drinking. Hey, Ryan, you know, like, you know, some girls would be like, yeah, let's hang out. I'd be like, sure, okay, let's do it. Whereas lots of people, they don't want to accept help from other people when things go wrong. Somebody dies, you gotta go through a terrible breakup. People are like, no, it's okay, because they feel too proud or they feel like they don't deserve the help. Accept the help of the people who care for you, because that was one of those things that really kind of helped me through that time. Okay, when I was the dumper, the hardest one, I was in a 4-year relationship, and I just felt like, well, first of all, I was gaining weight. My hair was long. I was not doing a whole lot with my life. Maybe I was selling stuff on eBay. She wasn't the cause of me being like that, but if you have been in long-term relationships, then you know that long-term relationships can be very draining, in the sense that they can drain your ambition or your hunger for life or for goals. So I had to break it off, and it wasn't fair to her in the way that I did it, because I wasn't honest with her or myself about what it was. It was like, look, I needed to go and do something with my life, and that something ended up being the Street Fighter stuff, and that was a whole nother journey in and of itself. And that is how we're sitting here today and you're watching me, because I ended this relationship. Am I friends with any of my exes? Do I think it's possible? I am not friends with any of my exes. I am on good terms with one of them, but we don't talk very often. But I am very happy for her when she does cool things. And the other one, we may not be on such good terms, but we're civil, and it's better than it was before, and it's better than other exes. Can it be done? Yes, over a long period of time where there is no contact. If you're in a different place that in your life, then sure, yeah, you can be friends when you've both moved on. Straight edge chocolate man, gootalks. How do you think I should decide my major for college? I'm seriously not sure what I want to do. All I know is that I want to take one that will be at least profitable in the future. A very common misconception. Go to college and major in something that you think will make money. What a great idea. Unfortunately, as I can tell you from personal experience, that shit doesn't matter. What's profitable when you're choosing your major, which is usually at the beginning of your senior year, meaning that best case scenario, let's say it is August 2012. School is starting next week. You're going to apply for colleges and take your SATs or whatever the fuck you do when you're a senior. The following year, you're going to be at college. And then it's going to take you 4 years from there. So basically 5 years from now, you're trying to predict the future. What will be profitable and in demand 5 years from now in the working world? Newsflash, there are very few things that you would be interested in that you could even predict will be popular or profitable 5 years from now. Of course, you could say, oh, I'll just major in business. Sure, all right, major in business. Well, that wasn't so hard. The point that I'm trying to make is that it doesn't matter what your major is in college. What matters is that you're doing the things that you're interested in doing. Oh man, they are calling me. And I'm not picking up. What matters is that you are majoring in something that you find interesting. It doesn't matter if it's profitable. What is profit? Who cares? It's more important to be involved in activities and activities, hobbies that you find interesting. Otherwise, you are a slave to the man, and you will be stuck working awful jobs forever. Oh, Drecker has a very good point. Learn Chinese. Customer service will be the #1 industry in 5 years when China takes over. I agree with that. Learn Chinese. I can't stress. Okay, China is like going to be very important in 5 years for sure. But it's not just about China. It's about learning foreign languages in order to do business. I can't tell you how many times I wish that I could speak Japanese, Chinese, or Korean, because that would help so much. You don't even know how to speak a lot. But when you meet people in a business setting, if you can speak even a few words of Japanese and just exchange pleasantries in their foreign language, you're instantly in there. I've seen it happen before. It's just, I haven't taken the time to do it, but I can assure you that it does work. I've seen it. Actually, I can give you the perfect example. Evo 2010, no, Evo 2011. I was, Ben Fishsticks from Twitch TV was there at Evo specifically to recruit partners. And I was like, hey, Ben, I will introduce you to all the people that I know so you can get them on board with Twitch, no problem. I introduced him to, I don't remember. It was, gosh, what was the guy that did, it was a Japanese tournament series that wasn't God's Garden, and it wasn't SBO. Who was the other one that shut down recently? Not Topanga. NSP, yes, it was the guy from NSP. And Ben introduced himself in Japanese and then said a few words to him in Japanese and took his card. And you guys know in Japanese culture, just FYI, like when you're presented a business card, you're supposed to take the card with two hands, not do it like fucking Americans do it, where you just like take the card, oh cool, put it in the pocket. You're supposed to take the card with two hands and then look at it front and back, because sometimes there's shit on the back. And then, I forget what the next part is, but for sure you're supposed to do that part right. Take the card with two hands, look front and back. But anyways, Ben spoke to him in Japanese, just a few words. Ben is not like a classically trained Japanese language speaker, but he was able to do that. And I know, I'm almost certain that he locked in the deal. The third I-11 has an update from earlier in the show. Gootalks, good news. I spilled all the beans and confessed my feelings. And I'm not in the friend zone, Gootalks. I have a chance. I really got positive feedback from her. She's calling me when she gets off work tomorrow. I'm excited. Good stuff. I hope you didn't say too much and you didn't tell her about how you want to, like, you know, how you want her to have your babies or anything. Please don't say that. EMP Flowface wants to know, yo, Gootalks, what is your favorite Death from Above 1979 song? Clearly, Little Girl, or the Mastercraft remix of Little Girl is my favorite, or Black History Month is a close second. What is my favorite type of music? I like indie dance, new disco, disco house. Am I interested in hip hop? Only if it's early 90s or it's Jay-Z or Nas. Sorry, I'm one-dimensional. Or Big L. Big L, greatest rapper of all time, hands down. Look it up. Trap music is awful. Get out of here with this trap music bullshit. Every time I'm working with somebody and they bring up trap and how somebody's gonna be spinning trap tonight, I'm like, fucking kill me now. Oh, and Kanye. I fucking love Kanye West. And you know, this is really funny actually. Are you guys aware? I don't know if you guys know this, but Kanye West is not actually a rapper. Kanye West is a producer that produced so much that he was then able to start rapping. You guys know that, right? Kanye West has a long-standing history of producing all kinds of different artists throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, and it was only after he produced all this stuff that he started working on his own stuff. I know, hey, you know, you guys know that. That's why we get along, but not everybody knows that. All right. Well, guys, top five rappers, gootalks. All right. Okay. All right. Big L, Jay-Z. Big L, Jay-Z, Biggie. Big L, Jay-Z, Biggie. Nas. Who? Oh, and Outkast. Outkast and Nas. Yeah. Oh, and of course Eminem. Okay, get Nas out of there. Eminem is better. Yeah. Yeah, 90s. And you could put Dre and Snoop. You could replace Outkast with Dre / Snoop together because I only like them as a group. I disagree. Andre 3000 and Big Boy. Big Boy, if you guys haven't heard Sir Lucius Left Foot, I think that's a great album. I totally played it out, so I don't really like it when it comes on anymore. But that was certainly one of the best albums of 2010 or 2011. And you guys know that he was working on that album for like 6 years, and it sat on the shelf for a long time before they actually put it out because the label didn't really understand it. That's how ahead of the curve Big Boy was, or is. But yeah, I mean, you know, whatever. I'm not really into hip hop, so don't ask me about any of these things. All right, guys, it is 8:20 here on the West Coast, and it is Friday night, and I am. Oh, thank you for thinking that I am the most interesting man in the FGC. I try. Anyways, I'm going out tonight. My boy La Muerte is spinning at Avalon. So I'm headed out tonight. You guys have fun. Thank you for joining me and keeping me company. This is like therapy for me because I just get to sit here and just ramble on, and there's nobody here. I don't have to ask anybody what they think. And you guys ask the questions. So, thank you guys for joining me, and we'll do this again soon, yeah? All right, watch this commercial later, guys.